Remember when you bought a new house and the builder and landscape company would plant your trees and then use metal fence posts to keep the trees from falling down? You could look up and down the street and all you would see is those potentially dangerous metal stakes sticking up all over the yards. Sometimes these stakes were even put right next to a sidewalk where kids rode their bikes and played in the yard. Even worse, there'd be a nearly invisible steel wire running from the stake to the tree that could easily injure somebody running by. Unfortunately, those staking methods still exist today. But at least now there is a product manufactured for the sole purpose of stabilizing a tree. Tree stabilizer kits. This short video will show how stabilizing trees directly at the root ball is much better for the tree, safer for kids, and costs less than most conventional staking methods. It will also show how tree stabilizer kits provide deep root watering and oxygen to the roots. The kits are faster to install and remove, and every kit comes with 3 2-year time-release fertilizer tablets. There is a common belief that staking a tree down and attaching the wires just under the canopy is the best way to keep the tree upright in high winds. Unfortunately, this is completely wrong. The reason you stake a tree is not to keep the tree from moving, it's to keep the root ball from moving. By attaching the wires up near the canopy as this tree is, you're not allowing the tree to move naturally, as it was meant to, so every time the wind blows, the stake takes 100% of the force and energy, and eventually the stakes will fail and the tree will lean over. Trees are designed to flex. That's how they protect their root systems. Now look at this tree. We've cut it loose from the metal stakes and installed a tree stabilizer kit. Now when the wind blows, the tree can absorb the wind and little to no force is put on the root ball. It is this natural movement of the canopy that generates a strong trunk and healthy root system. Granted, these are small trees, but the principles are the same for larger trees. Here we use tree stabilizer kits to install a 100-gallon oak tree. Tree stabilizer kits actually work better on larger trees because the trees have a much stronger and heavier root ball. As you can see here, we used 4 stabilizers to install this tree. Stabilized in this manner, it would be nearly impossible for a single person to push this tree over. If you had used metal stakes, it would be much easier. Here is a classic example of a tree that was staked down with metal stakes and was encouraged not to move in the wind. Once the stakes and wires were removed, the tree bent over like it was made of rubber. Notice how not even the bark cracked when it bent over. As most people know, and as we have shown here, metal stakes and other above-ground staking just doesn't work. Most of our examples have been with small trees, like 15 to 45-gallon trees. And if metal stakes do a bad job on small trees, why would you ever use them on larger trees? Not only does this type of staking not work, but most of the time you have to attach to the tree by tying onto branches, which can cause permanent damage to the tree and restrict its growth. So most people will agree, stakes are dangerous to use in yards, parks, and other public areas. So why do people keep using them? Is it because they're cheaper to install? When you consider the cost of installing metal stakes, cutting all the wires, cutting all the water hose, and attaching all these products to the tree, tree stabilizer kits cost less. One last point. Consider doing a new residential development like this one here. It has over 800 homes with easily 3 to 4 stake trees in each home. It has parks, public areas, and of course landscaped entrances to the development. It would be easy and very conservative to estimate the amount of new trees planted to be around 5,000 trees. 5,000 trees, each planted with 3 metal stakes, is 15,000 stakes. At 9 pounds apiece, it is 135,000 pounds or 67 tons of metal stake. Not to mention all the wire and hose material to do the job. Tree stabilizer kits, when purchased in bulk, come packaged in a 15-inch by 15-inch by 28-inch box with 48 units to a box, or enough material to install 16 trees, and it only weighs 52 pounds. The same 16 trees using metal stakes would weigh almost 500 pounds. So now let's jump forward 1 year. The trees are established and all this staking material needs to be removed. With tree stabilizer kits, anyone can simply remove the 3 straps and you're done. The tubes stay in the ground, providing deep root watering and oxygen for the life of the tree. And the straps can be stored away for later use. If you used metal stakes, you now have to try to pull all the stakes out of the ground, which can be very difficult and many times can't be done, so the stakes are just left by the tree. If you do get them all out of the ground, you now have 67 tons of rusty metal stakes and wire that now need to be delivered to the nearest landfill. We hope that this video has at least made you consider using or speccing tree stabilizers into your next project. A detailed installation video can be viewed at www.treestabilizer.com or call us anytime at 1-800-691-1148.